Hi everyone, my name's Ginger Lester and I'm with the City of Nelson. And as you can see, it's a beautiful snowy day here. I've got my toque on, I'm out of the office, and we're gonna head out with one of our Public Works heavy equipment operators, John Fleming, and we're gonna see what it takes to remove the snow from the city. I know we all have our shovels out, but I think it's gonna be great to see behind the scenes. So stay tuned and we'll see what happens. We've left Public Works now, and I'm just going to introduce everyone. This is John Fleming.
Hello.
Hi, John. So, John, tell me, for the people out there, what is the one biggest misconception that the public has about snow plowing and what our crews do out in the community?
I would have to think that it's that we're never out there, that we're never putting down enough sand, or we're putting down too much sand. I just think that because the city is a pretty good size, we only have 4 trucks of this size that we're in right now, and so we're covering a lot of ground, so the public isn't necessarily going to see you on their street, and we have a priority system of roads to do, so we're concentrating on those ones first. And so somebody may be on the street that's got 15 centimeters of snow and wondering why we're not out there, but we are out there. We're just dealing with our priority system that's laid out and trying to take care of those routes first.
And as everyone can tell, it's quite loud in the vehicle. So they don't just deal with the snow, they deal with these large vehicles. They're a bit bumpy and shaky, and then they're quite loud. So it's oh, and there we've got one of our other pieces of equipment coming through the intersection. Here we are turning the corner, heading up to Baker Street. And as we go up these hills, this is when our crews put the blades down and help get some of that snow off the road. So John, do you ever come across any obstacles that are buried in the snow that residents have left on public property?
It's a fairly common thing to happen. Maybe not necessarily buried, but things like things in laneways or on narrow roads, trailers in particular. There are a lot of people, whether they're travel trailers, utility trailers, but they're in the way, and they make roads really narrow, especially in winter when things just get narrower naturally. So we're always coming across things like that are things that just make the driving more difficult, because we're in slippery conditions, and we may seem like we're going in a straight line, but at the last moment you might catch some ice and slide you towards an obstacle.
Right. And so I guess our recommendation is make sure you get those things put away before the snow falls. All right. This road we're now on is Slocan Street, which our team affectionately calls the Luge Run, so you can see how steep it is and how much snow is up here. And y'all can also see that our public is out doing their bit too, so thank you for that. So here we go.
I'll often do 2 passes down here, and I'll stick to the left because, again, I'm pushing all my snow off to the right. So my second pass then pushes forward to the right, just to get the road a little bit wider, plowed.
Okay. And in case anyone is wondering, yes, this is slightly terrifying.
We're at the point of no return now. That one you have to be careful on the brake, off the brake, because if you're on the brake, your front wheels can lock up, and then you'll just start sliding straight. So as soon as you feel that happen, then you have to get off the brake to straighten out again. But the downside to that is now you're going faster. So back on the brake, off, on, off, just to get yourself around that corner.
That was pretty cool.
So we're going to do that one more time, just so that I get the second pass that I want to get.
All right.
And also I'll lay down some sand the second time through.
Okay.
I don't want to lay down sand the first pass, because I'm going to end up scraping that off on my second pass.
Okay. Here we go, pass number 2. and what it looks like in an 8-hour shift.
Well, I'm on the early morning shift, so I start at 4 a.m. And our first priorities, as I mentioned before, are the bus and emergency routes in town. And we will typically have 3 trucks available, like 3 drivers available at that time of day, and then other drivers that would come on later, like 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. for our main crew. So I'm frequently just in my truck the whole day. And in an 8-hour day, as long as you've got 3 trucks out, we can normally hit every street in town. But sometimes trucks are broken down for whatever reason or another. We don't have a driver available to take out a truck, so sometimes not every street gets done every day, but normally by the next day.
And as you mentioned to me earlier too, that it also keeps snowing. So even when you finally get emergency routes done, you have to start all over again.
That happened today because it was snowing heavily, as it still is now. I'm taking this opportunity to get a few of the other streets that I haven't touched yet, but it can be that once you finish your bus and emergency, then you have to start it right away again, because the snow is built up such that you need to get on it so the buses and other vehicles can get around.
Okay, so here we're heading down
Jeff's, and we're going to be
okay.
turning right onto Wasson Street.
All right.
And we'll go along Wasson a little bit, and there are 2 lanes that I want to go down. And these aren't lanes that I'm just doing because it's fun to do. These are lanes that this is people's only access to where they park their vehicles. It's the access to their homes.
Yeah, so it's very important that they get done.
So they're not a top priority, but it is important that we keep them in mind and do them when we can. So the first one I'm coming to is here on my left. And before I commit to it, I need to look down it, because there's a car that may or may not be parked in a bad spot. Looks like we're okay. Well, yeah, we're okay. It's there, but I think it's far enough off. So here we go. This is a bad lane because there's groundwater that comes out of near the fence here on my right, and it'll often freeze up, and the road is canted slightly to my left, just to where this car is. So you have to be careful there that you don't get caught in that ice.
And in case anyone is wondering, and it's not picked up in the video, these are very steep streets. Do we know what the grade is of this?
I don't know that myself. I just call it steep.
It's steep.
It's steep.
I can attest to that. No question.
And the tricky part about that one too is it has that sharp right-hand turn with a big cedar tree at the bottom on your right-hand side, so you got to make sure you don't cut it too close and hit that tree. And then there's another car that parks at the bottom once you've rounded past that tree, and sometimes it can be sticking out. So you gotta watch it too when you come around the corner that you're not heading towards it.
Wow.
So the next lane we're gonna do is this one that empties out right here. So it's a straight run. So it also comes down from Wasson, but it's a straight one, but it's got a steep drop.
It's good. Okay, I'm so excited.
So if you like roller coasters, you're gonna love this next ride.
Oh goodness. Okay, well here we go. I'm gonna keep the camera rolling, and we can really experience this. So we're gonna do a nice steep drop on an alley.
And you have to take it with a bit of speed at the top, because if you don't, if you go too slow, your blade can actually get high centered, and then you're stuck. So you have to go with enough momentum just to get you over the crest of that hill, because it drops so abruptly. Even with your blade in the retracted position, it still could get hung up there.
Yeah, you definitely learn the ins and outs when you do this enough, I'm sure.
Yeah, if you were to get hung up here, you would only do that once, never do it again. So here we are.
Oh gosh, I didn't even see the alley. That's how, oh my goodness. Again, I'm not sure that the video caught how steep this is, but it's very steep.
Looks like somebody nailed the tree there.
lower end of the driveway. So when the grader does come by, or the blade is down, that hopefully there'll be less snow going into your driveway. So that's just a little tip from John, is shovel your snow below the driveway, not on the high side.
Yeah.
So when you start plowing in the morning, what happens, John?
Yeah, so if you're the first truck out plowing in the morning, the way we plow is we hug the center line first. We'll actually overlap the imaginary center line. We'll do that first, and then as we come back, we're doing the same thing in the other direction. And then if we do subsequent passes, then we move slightly over to the right. So you're not leaving a pile of snow down the center lane. So you try and grab that stuff first, and then, as I say, subsequent passes, and then keep pushing it off to the right. And if the snow stops, then you can do some real widening, like if cars are not parked in front of their homes, then you can push the snow even further over,
right?
Just to try and widen the road as much as possible.
And I just want to point out too, you mentioned earlier that, and where we hear from the public that perhaps the equipment's not out, but just on our route this morning, we've seen multiple city pieces of heavy equipment out, and some smaller equipment like the sidewalk plow. So yeah, they are out. It just takes time, and it's just hopefully people will learn a lot today from what we've seen and heard from John. Oh, here's another one of ours.
Here's our stair shoveling and crosswalk shoveling and sanding crew. There's Ian.
So thank you to John for taking me out today. That was really eye-opening, and I'm not even kidding. I learned so much, and I hope you did too. And even though I'm done, he still has to go back out and do this all over again. He's going to go hit a few alleys where some vehicles were stuck. So thank you, John, for everything.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for joining.